Saturday. I'm up right now. My mind is racing. My mind is racing. My mind is racing. I'm thinking about so much right now. I wasn't gonna do no topics. Topics is always running through my head, right? I'm always getting a sense of direction, where to push myself and where to push others at, right? And it's not easy um delaying the message to your guys, right? And sometimes my topics may come off, it doesn't make any sense. Why is he saying these topics? These topics doesn't make any sense. Let me tell you, let me say something to your guys, man. Someone told me that I like to hear myself speak, that I like to hear myself speak. I want to say it again. I like to hear myself speak. And you know what's right? I do like to hear myself speak. I like to go over events, go over images in my head to make sure that I'm making the right move. That's right. I like to hear my speak. I like to hear myself speak with inside of my mind, my heart, body, and soul. Because what that does, it keeps me on track. If you do not question yourself and question your actions, then that means that you are living under confusion and deception. If you don't question your actions and your acts before you do these things and before you have motion and movement, that means that you are living in confusion and deception. And these things need to be addressed in your life, because everybody's supposed to have what? A sense of pride about themselves and a sense of to talk to themselves, right? And like to hear themselves talk, whether it be outwardly or inwardly. You pick your own choice. If you feel comfortable with outwardly questioning your thoughts, so be it. People may label you as something is wrong with him, something is wrong with her. But you would just outwardly question yourself, basically. And I know this is not normal. It's abnormal to question yourself outwardly. But inwardly, you could question yourself, right? It's all the same thing, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Because some of the people that's in society right now question they move and motion to themselves. I know I got the topic a little bit, right? But this topic that I want to talk about and address is basically, you have to learn how to cut out all of the depressions and traumas and distraction in your life. How do you cut out all of the depressions and traumas and distraction in your life? Being that we are constantly in our community, in our society, and everything that's around us is depression, traumas, anxiety, and distraction. How do you cut out all of these physical distractions and traumas and depression out of your life? It's a very difficult task. It's not easy task to cut out distractions, right? And we all know what are depressions and distraction. Where all these stuff come from? Where do trauma come from? Let's break this down. Where do depression come from? Depression comes from pressure. Physically, mentally, spiritually, pressure. Going through things, right? Going through things. Pressure, right? Pressure at some particular time produce what? Depression. And depression produce what? Traumas, anxiety, right? So how can we eliminate the depression, the pressure, and traumas which cause what? Distractions in our life. How can we eliminate? I'm going to tell you how. Once you find out the remedy, right, of what? Of pressure. Pressure could be anything. Pressure could be anything. You could have pressure on doing what? On finishing this project. You could have pressure on finishing this task that your boss gave you, right? You could have pressure of your children, of your wives, of your loved one, or just life. That could be pressure, right? Because life is pressure. Whether it be negative or positive. Negative or positive. Most of the pressure is given towards negativity. You see all the pressure all around the world, which is producing what? Depression. Depression. And once depression set in, right, you will start to feel fatigue and you feel down. Then the trauma start happening. The acts start happening to you. Feel me? Because you become weak and you become distracted. And when you are in these stages, you are vulnerable to any and everything to come into your life to mislead you. So these very acts, right? These very acts in our life can be changed by what? People, places, and things. People, places, and things. You have to change these people, places, and things. And I know it's easy said than done. It's very difficult and hard. It could take a lifetime. It could take 6 months. It depends on what? Your motion and movement. On how fast you want to get rid of depression and pressure and traumas and anxiety and distractions. It's very difficult and hard. It took me all the way up until this time to realize what is distractions and what is depression and what is trauma and what is anxiety. I've always been a person that can deal with pressure. I've been under a lot of influence and a lot of pressure in my life. A lot of pressure. Going up against the odds. The odds, majority of the odds always been against me, physically, mentally, spiritually. And as I can see that I always took on this pressure when the odds was against me, because the odds produce pressure. It produces what? Anxiety. It produces fear. Because you don't know what's coming around the corner. It is unknown. Do you understand what I'm saying? So after going through pressure all your life, and they say pressure break pipes. No, pressure do not break pipes. Pipes keep pressure in. Pipes keep pressure in. Can you be that pipe? Can you be that outlet? Can you be that outlet? This is an actual true fact. This is an actual true fact. Pressure break pipes. But what type of pipe are you made of? Are you made of steel? These are the questions that you need to ask yourself. And once you learn that you can deal with pressure, it will not break a pipe. Because what happens is that you will start to adapt to pressure. You will start to adapt to pressure. You will start to adapt to pressure. Because pressure is constantly the forefront. It's constantly the forefront. Most of our lives and most of our community, most of our society is pressure, 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 pressure. We came in this world under pressure because we had many other sperm cells to fight against. That was pressure. That was pressure. To fight against many other sperm cells to fertilize the eggs, that was a lot of pressure. And you was the one that fertilized it. So you fought through all of that pressure. I want you to realize this and understand this from a spiritual point of view. Not from a physical point of view, from a spiritual point of view. So if you have the drive and the focus and the aim, right, of fighting through all of those other obstacles, you have the ability to fight through pressure, to understand pressure, to eat with pressure, to live with pressure, to become one with pressure. Because pressure produces what? It produces knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And it also produces warriors. It also produces spirituality. It also produces righteousness. And righteousness is what? Next to godliness. And godliness is next to what? Cleanliness. You have to wipe yourself clean. Do you understand that? And I'm talking about spirituality. Spirituality. You have to understand the distraction. You have to understand the anxiety. You have to understand the pressure and depression. It's all a distraction. It's all a distraction. And the distraction is there is to lead you down a dark, dark, dark path. You see, people's not going to talk about this to you. They're not going to tell you these certain things because, you know, we are in a state, we are in an era where nobody cares. Nobody cares about pressure, right? But they just react. They call it crash out. I'm crashing out because they don't know how to deal with pressure. They don't know how to deal with hunger. They don't know how to deal with homelessness. They don't know how to deal with jobless, not having money. All of those are pressure to build a better character of you. So you can do what? So you can fight the war within inside of yourself. And after conquering the war, and after conquering and coming up with strategies, you can spread it out to others. And so others can do what? Fight their traumas and depression and pressure and anxiety and depression and distractions. This is really, really deep what I'm saying to you. Because a lot of people don't get it. A lot of people don't get it. They sit up and say that you like to hear yourself speak, but you don't understand what you speak. That makes no sense. That makes no sense. I'm just coming from a place that you have no knowledge of. I'm coming from a place that is blind to you. I'm coming from a place that leaves you in the dumb, deaf, and blind. Not disrespectfully, but you don't have the right tools and the right knowledge or understanding and wisdom to understand the place that I come from. And plus with experience of dealing with this for a very, very long time. Of course, I love to hear myself speak. I got to speak to myself. I got to tell myself what moves I'm going to make tomorrow with the help of the Alpha Omega, the creator and everything existing. Because first and foremost, I cannot make a move without asking him. I cannot make a move or have motion without asking him. He has the last say-so. So I want to make sure that I can deal with the pressure. And this is pressure. So by dealing with pressure and by dealing with traumas and everything that we see in society, right, is a distraction, right? So if I don't speak to myself or I don't like to hear myself speak, that means that I am in a state of confusion. That means that I'm believing everything that's put out there by society and social media. And that's not the case. That's not the case. What's leading the force is spirituality. Spirituality is here to stay. And it's always going to be here to stay. To worship in the Alpha Omega, to creating everything in existence. That's right. That's how we give it up over here. That's how we give it up over here. Because we got to give it up over here like that. Because nobody's not giving it up like that. Nobody's not talking to you. Nobody's not telling you the truth. I've been through it. I've been through what you've been through. I've been through it. And I lived through it with the help of the Alpha Omega, the Creator, to be the example. To have motion and movement with spirituality, spiritual force, spiritual existence, spiritual guidance, spiritual information for you and I. So if I like to hear myself talk, I like to hear myself talk. Because I have to figure out today. I have to figure out tomorrow. I have to figure out this second. I have to figure out this minute. Everything counts. It's pressure upon me. It's pressure upon you. You have to listen to my words. You have to listen to my understanding. I'm coming from a place of care and love and being genuine and 100. That goes to everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So it's up to you. It's up to you to lead yourself what? And to find yourself what? Out of pressure and anxiety and depression and distractions. I'm going to help you get through. Because you know not what you do. You know not what you do. But I'm here to explain what you do and what I do. I'm here to help us and lead us to a life of what? Foreverness. With the help of the Alpha Omega, the creating everything in existence. So you can understand. You may not understand now, but later on you will understand. Because we are taught certain rules and regulation and indoctrination. We are taught rules and regulation and certain indoctrination that is upon us. You have to change the narrative. What is the narrative? The narrative is that most of everything that we see is cover up. It's falsehood on top of the truth. It's falsehood on top of the truth. It's a distraction. Something to think about. Something to think about. You have a great morning. Peace, y'all. Peace, peace, peace.